welcome to Sew Pretty Kitty. This is my vlog where I talk about all the things that I love about sewing. And it's been a while because it's been half term, so please forgive me for being absent for a bit. It's really tricky to fit any time in for vlogging when there's kids at home from school, but we had a lovely half term. I hope you guys enjoyed Halloween, and we've got bonfire night going on around here at the moment, so it's really lovely time of year. I've got a cup of coffee. This might be a longish one. I was thinking October makes. I didn't think I'd made that much, but actually I have made quite a few things, so I'll try and keep it as brief as possible. It's raining pouring outside, and I am thinking to myself, oh, the heating needs to go on. Yeah, it's definitely winter here in the UK. So, what did I make in October? The first and the quickest thing to show you will be, you guys, if you've seen a previous vlog, you'll see that I am making gifts for new babies in the family. There's two coming, one in December, one in February. And I was making the Lunar Lapin rabbits from a book by Sarah Peel, I think, but I will pop the link down below, the details of that book. And Lunar Lapin is this really cute little stuffed toy rabbit that you can make all sorts of clothes for, and even an armchair and bits and pieces. So I have made two of these so far, and I got round to making a coat. So yeah, this was quite a satisfying little make actually. It was a bit fiddly, I won't lie, you know, especially the collar and bits, but you can see here it's got a lovely little collar. It's got some faux welt pockets here. Is that a welt pocket? I'm not sure what that's called actually. It's probably not a welt pocket. A two-piece sleeve, and actually in the book it's meant to be a double-breasted coat, but I preferred the look of it with just the two buttons on the front there. And yeah, it's not lined or anything obviously. I sewn it together because I didn't want it to be able to be removed, purely because I didn't fancy doing buttonholes on a tiny coat like that. It's bad enough on a big coat. So yeah, it's got a tiny little pleat in the back here with a little yeah, pleat. Cute, huh? So that's one item of clothing that's for a rabbit. What else have I been doing in October? We went to the knitting and stitching show in London at Alexandra Palace. My brain is not working today. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. And Alexandra Palace is a beautiful venue. It's really lovely. It was absolutely jammed. My friend and I took our eldest daughters with us this time because my friend really luckily won some tickets from Tilly and the Buttons on an Instagram competition. So we went up there, we took our eldest daughters with us, and we wandered around for the whole day. It was really crammed full of people. It's kind of hard to get close to anything to have a proper look, but it did calm down as the day went on. I didn't buy that much. I bought myself a pattern, which we will talk more about in a minute, but this will give you a clue. So Jessa, the new one of the new trouser patterns. In fact, I think this probably came out in the summer because I remember quite a few people made the shorts version. So they are sort of a flared nod to the 70s kind of style trouser with a very high waist. And if you look at the line drawing on the back, you can see that you've got the option to make either the trousers or the shorts. And yeah, we're going to talk more about that in a minute. So I bought that pattern. What else did I buy? I bought a bit of fabric. Obviously my daughter was with me, so she emptied my wallet quite quickly with things that she wanted to purchase for herself. And we came across this really cute fabric, which is a flannel or a brushed cotton probably, perfect for pyjama bottoms. And it's got Scotty dogs on and little tartan hearts. And she really loved that and wanted a pair of pyjama bottoms. My brain's not working today, guys. Yeah, so pyjama bottoms for Christmas, and she liked the fact that she could probably wear those all year round because there's nothing overtly Christmas about them, but they are kind of Christmassy. The only thing I'm slightly disappointed with, and I think we got this from Bombay stores maybe, I think it was from there, is that it was on a very pale cream background, and I washed this, and I don't know whether or not the reds run, but You probably can't see very well there. The background colour is kind of almost gone like a pebbly stone colour rather than a cream. It's got a slight pink tinge to it, so I might run that through the washing machine again just to see if I can get the background to come out a bit nicer. What else did I buy? I was determined to buy not very much fabric because you guys who have seen previous videos about my stash will know that it's a bit of a beast, and I've run out of room to keep it all. So I only bought one piece of fabric for myself, and I bought some, it's kind of not that interesting, but I bought some corduroy. So I'm on a bit of a corduroy binge at the moment, and this is kind of almost a khaki green brown colour, which I thought would be lovely made up into either a pair of those culottes that I put on my Pinterest board in the last video, or maybe a skirt, but we'll talk about corduroy skirts in a minute. There's no stretch in this corduroy, and it was quite cheap. It was about £4 a metre, so I think I got 2 meters in the end because that would give me a bit of flexibility. But yeah, I haven't made it up yet. Mainly because I have been on a corduroy making binge this month. I've made 2 items that are corduroy, and they are both fairly successful, but maybe not as successful as I might have hoped. So let's move on to what I made. So one of the first things I made this month was this pattern. Ooh, that's helpful. Hide the number. 8175 Simplicity, and it's a skirt and culotte pattern. And as soon as I saw this in Fabricland, where I bought it, in their book, they were having a sale on Simplicity patterns. That looked to me exactly like some of those inspiration pictures that I had pinned on my Pinterest board. Particularly the culottes, but also that sort of shaped skirt with the split in the front. And you get the option for a pencil skirt, a more flared skirt, and culottes. So I thought that was quite a good value, that pattern. And I made this version here, version B, but I didn't make the tie, and you'll see why in a minute. So based on my body measurements, and I'm pretty accurate these days at looking at what the pattern suggests you make and then looking at the finished garment measurements and knowing just about how much ease I prefer. And based on that, I thought that I'd chosen the appropriate size, but it was enormous. I mean, I put a picture on Instagram, and I'll try and pop a picture in here somewhere for you to see, but I made it up. I think I made the size 14. Yeah, it was a size 14, and I had at least 5, maybe 6 inches of ease to get rid of, and I almost gave up on this skirt, and I haven't worn it yet because I'm still angry with it, if I'm honest. Yeah, I'll stand up. I'm wearing it today with my Seamwork Astoria that I showed you in my last video. Actually, this works really well with high-waisted skirts, so I have made something else to go with this, which I'll show you in a sec. But first of all, I'll stand up and show you this skirt. So you'll see that it's got a high waist. It's got these pockets which have stretched out. The instructions, I should have known better really. The instructions in the envelope did not tell you to interface this diagonal seam here, and I should have known better, and I should have interfaced it because they have stretched out, and now I look like I've got a couple of wings on my hips, which does not help with me liking this skirt. The back has just got a zip down the middle. You've got a couple of darts. And there's a split in the front, but I'll insert a twirl so you can see it properly at the end when I've finished talking about it. But I had to make numerous adjustments to this skirt to get it even close to fitting me properly, and I think actually I managed to persevere quite well because it does fit me now, apart from the fact that those pockets really just I don't know what to do about them. Someone suggested maybe stitching them shut. That might help. But then, you know, you've got all that bulk from the pocket bag inside underneath, and it just seems like such a waste. I don't know. Anyone got any ideas? Is there a way you can stitch a little bit of elastic maybe on the inside of that bit so it can stick better to your hip? Let me know in the comments down below if you've got any ideas. But yeah, it was a long job. It took me a couple of days. I must have taken at least 5 inches out at various points on the side seams. I made the darts bigger. I had to adjust the waistband lots. I took some out in the back seam. I took some out in the front seam. Yeah, it was a monster in terms of fitting, and it kind of put me off, which is a shame because on paper this looks like a fabulous pattern, and it did actually end up looking like the photograph. And I think next time I make it, I'm going to size down at least 1 size, if not 2. And yeah, hopefully that will sort out the issues. So kind of like not really a win. Don't love it. I also not keen on the colour of this corduroy. It was in my stash. It's one of my Make 9 fabrics that I wanted to get made up, and so I used it really because I wasn't too worried. It was an expensive fabric, and it's kind of like a wearable toile really in the end, so I've learnt some lessons from it, let's put it that way. I'm going to insert a little twirl of me wearing it here. Okay, so that was the first garment that I made, and mixed bag result. So then I made another garment for myself, mainly to go with this top, because you'll know that I was a bit like iffy about the length of this Astoria. They are very short tops. They literally stop at your waist, so whatever you wear with them has to be quite high-waisted, otherwise I just hate that feeling of having like a little peak of, like, you know, tummy there. It's not comfortable and it doesn't feel very secure. So I made a good old favourite pattern that I know fits me beautifully and I love, and it's a Tilly in the Buttons BB skirt. So that is a pattern from the book Stretch. Haven't got the book with me now, but lots of people have seen the BB, I'm sure. I will try and insert a picture of it so you can have a look. The skirt I've made is from a leftover piece of Ponte Roma that I had in my stash, and this skirt really takes hardly any fabric. It's 4 panels and a waistband, and it is a nice workwear classic. Oh, it's covered in fluff. It's not hemmed yet as well. I hate that bit, don't you? Do you always leave your hemming till last? I just, when I get round to it, when I need to wear this skirt, I will hem it. But it's the BB, it's got 4 panels which you join so that they run down the front and the back. There is no front and no back to this skirt, doesn't matter which way round you put it on. The waistband is just lovely and comfy, and it's just Ponte. And the only alteration I made to this pattern was to lengthen it by, I think maybe 2 inches, so that it would hit me just below my knee. So yeah, and I was thinking actually that as a workwear, and I will put a little twirl in, but it goes nicely with the blue in the Astoria, and I just thought it's a shame to make clothes that you can't wear with because you haven't got anything in your wardrobe to go with them, and a navy blue pencil skirt is one of those sort of classic pieces for workwear that I'll get a lot of wear out of. So that was my 3rd make. I think it's 3. And then I've left the best till last because these are a triumph. Well, they are. There's a tiny negative, but it's fixable, it's fine. So, the Tilly in the Buttons Jesser trousers that I talked to you about earlier. I have seen this pattern and I was like, oh, I'm not sure I can pull that off. I'm very much into my skinny jeans, and when skinny jeans came in, everyone was like, not sure about skinny jeans. And now it's kind of going back round, and boot cut jeans are coming back, flares are coming back. And actually, when you wear certain shoes, particularly things like trainers, I think they look better when you've got a wider leg trouser than if you've got these skinny little drain pipe jeans and then trainers on. I can't ever sort of get over that. Looks a bit weird, like my leg's like a golf club or something. So I thought, oh well, I'll have a go at these trousers. If they don't fit or they don't look great, well then at least I've learned how to do a fly zip, which I've never done before. So I did, and I made them out of some black corduroy. And this corduroy was in my stash for years. I think it came from my mum's house actually. And again, it's got no stretch in it, which is the only negative, I think. I should really, I mean, this was a toile, so I've learnt from it, which is the whole point of having a toile. But I think these trousers would work best with corduroy with a little bit of stretch in, and Tilly actually does say that in the instructions, so I should have listened to her really. So these are black, and I'm sorry about that, but I thought if I make them out of some weird and wacky colour, I'm never going to wear them because they're out of my comfort zone in terms of the shape of them. And equally, if I make them like bright red or bright green or some other colour that I don't normally wear, there's no way I'm going to be brave enough to wear them out. So I thought, let's go with black, because black is sort of a classic, but it might make it slightly harder for you to see. So the thing I am most proud about on these trousers is the fly zip, and I will try, I've got a light here, so hopefully you can see there. So I have never constructed a fly zip before. Notice the zip is blue because I was, too impatient to wait and go and buy a black zip. So there's another reason why it's a toile. The zip comes down, you've got your fly guard. It was such a simple construction. I don't really know why I was so nervous about doing one, because Tilly, I didn't even need to watch the video. Her instructions in this pattern are so good that I managed to put it together without having to watch the video on how to do it. So I am super, super pleased with that fly. It sits perfectly flat, and yeah, I was proud of myself for managing to do that first time. I lined the waistband, as you'll notice, with some cotton lawn, and this was left over from a project that I made for my mum, a sky wrap. And I did that because I was a bit wary that 2 layers of corduroy and interfacing might make the waistband a bit too chunky. And I think it probably would have, but what I should have done is interface both the corduroy and the cotton lawn, because this waistband is not quite structured enough. And when I sit down, it sort of folds in half slightly. But that's also because I think I probably need to take about 1/4 inch out of the rise. So on the pattern there's a lengthen shorten line at the top here, which you obviously have to shorten the fly pieces as well if you're going to take any fabric out of the top half of the trouser. And then there's a lengthen shorten line further down. So what I did was I shortened them by 1 inch immediately, because by looking at the measurements on the pattern I knew that they were going to be too long, and I didn't want to have to ruin the shape of them by chopping too much off the hem. Saying that, I did alter the shape of the trouser legs slightly. I tapered them a little bit. So I took, I think, 3/4 inch off either side of the trouser leg, and then just straightened the leg up ever so slightly. They are very 70s in terms of they come down in at the knee and then they go out like this, and I just thought that might be just kind of a tiny step too far. Not quite ready for that yet, so I just tapered those trouser legs in, and I came up with a much straighter leg rather than a sort of flared looking leg, and I'm happier with the shape of that. So I took 1 inch off the length. Next time I make them, I will take 1/4 inch off the rise, I think, because they're just a tiny bit too high on my waist, and the waistband folds when I sit down. I will interface the lining fabric as well as the corduroy. You can see here I put 2 trouser fasteners on here. Did toy with the idea of a snap, but then I realised I was just being lazy, because a snap would have been easy to put in. But I didn't really want to see it from the outside. So if I wanted to put a snap in next time, I'd have to put it in on the lining piece. And then the last thing, they've got two big patch pockets on the bottom, sounded a bit funny, on the bum, and it gives you a really nice shape on your bum. So I'm really pleased with those. So yeah, I will of course put them on so you can see them in real life and insert a twirl here. So the last thing I want to talk to you about today, and I hope this video is not going on and on and on for ages, is the wonderful Aga from Pin and Sew. Details will be in the drop down box below. Contacted me via Instagram and asked me if I would like to choose some fabric from her website in return for writing a blog post and recording a video about it for you guys. And you know, what sewing enthusiast in their right mind would say no to an offer like that, because Pin and Sew have some beautiful fabrics on their website. So I was really conscious that I wanted to make something that would work really well with the clothes I've already got, and choose some fabric that maybe I've not had anything like before in terms of like pattern and stuff. So I went for this really beautiful jersey, and it's so soft. I can't tell you how soft this is. I can't wait to wear it. And it's got this big dog tooth check on it. And when I saw this on the website, there was two colourways, and there's a sort of a grey colour and this blue colour. And initially I went for the grey, but actually the blue, I think I will get more wear out of this blue, because you saw the previous pencil skirt I've made. The pattern I've chosen to go with this top, I have left in the other room. So hang on and I'll go and get it. So I said I went to the Simplicity sale and bought a few bits and pieces. Well, this is another one that I bought with that specific fabric in mind. And this is another Simplicity 8424. And initially you might think, what? How is that workwear? But if you look at this cardigan here, it's a nice ballerina style wrap cardigan. And I thought, that fabric, because it's quite stretchy and it's fairly lightweight, although it's not, you know, it's not see-through, it's a decent weight, but it's not really sort of sweatshirty weight. It's more top weight. So I could see myself making maybe a Mandy boat tee out of something like this, or what else could you make with it? Any sort of boxy style top would look lovely in this. And I did briefly flirt with the idea of making another Mandy boat tee, and I thought I want to try something different, and I could make a wrap dress out of it, but I think it's quite lightweight, and with a wrap dress I don't want to be showing any sort of like lumps or bumps. And if you choose a fabric that's quite lightweight for a wrap dress, because they're quite clingy, you can have an issue with that. So I thought a really lovely wrap cardigan to go with that nice pencil skirt that I've just made in the navy would be super smart for workwear. So I'm so grateful to Aga for sending me this. I'm looking forward to sewing it up, and that will be my next project. So this pattern actually comes with leggings and a little vest top as well. And I've not made leggings for myself yet, so I figured actually for £6 that's a pretty good pattern. If you've made this ballerina style wrap top before, give me a shout, let me know how it went. I'm wondering whether I'm going to have to lengthen the torso slightly on that as well. Yeah, let me know. But I will probably make a toile of this as well, because I don't want to cut into my super duper fabric and have the same issue that I had with this skirt. So that's my plan. Right, I think I've exhausted all my October makes now. I probably made, oh, I did make one other thing, but it's a secret. I can't show you that. It's another baby related thing, but the person who it's for might be watching this, so I'm not going to show you that. But I will show you it after I've given it to them. So yeah, that's it for today. Please give me a thumbs up. We're marching towards 5,000 subscribers and I'm so grateful to you guys for sticking with me and tuning in. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, because it really helps me out. And you can tap the bell and get notifications when the next video is up. If you've got any ideas of things that you would like for me to show you or do or talk about, then pop them in the comments below. I always love reading them, and I try and reply to everybody. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.